I promise.
We have lots of we have videos and things. So let's officially start, although we've been chatting, right? So welcome to everyone to our Thursday travel to our country offices. And actually, today is so good. We now know that somebody is moving, and so we are living the example now, which is really nice. That we are helping members who are moving to have an idea of what life can be like. And what could be better, we have also a special welcome to all the members from the Pakistan chapter who have made it. I won't name you all, but you know who you are, and thank you for making the effort to come and really show the whole group so that we can meet you, and the newcomers who will be moving know who they can meet when they get there. It really makes a difference. Our Pakistan members have raised the bar highly today by including two videos, one of their life in lockdown and one on the activities. So we will get on. I will ask Bushra and Sadaf, who are our champions. We also have Rushana, who is our connector. I will ask our champions, Sadaf and Bushra, to briefly say hello, and then we will show the video before they start to give us a glimpse of what life is like in Islamabad. Okay, so Sadaf.
Can I just ask everyone to be on mute unless you are speaking? Please. Good, thank you.
Thank you. So
yeah,
Sadaf.
just, can you hear me? I just want to make sure my audio is working for later.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you, Bradley.
All right, great. See you soon.
Laurent also is moving to Islamabad, so let's go.
Okay, hey everyone, it's Sadaf Khalid here. So basically, I originally from Karachi, and I moved to Islamabad. And nowadays, we are struggling with COVID and everything, but we are learning and doing things in our homes. So nowadays, I'm working with some NGOs and online working and doing machine learning advanced course, data science and machine learning. So working with that project and my family, WBFN, I'm connecting 2 times with them. They are my family. So this is my short introduction, because I think I tell Bushra to give her introduction. Bushra.
Hello, this is Bushra Abbas from Islamabad. I just want to give you a brief introduction about Islamabad, and then we will show, Paul will show the video. Islamabad is the capital of Pakistan, and Islamabad is a valley surrounded by Margla Hills, and it is constructed newly in 1960s. So it is well organized city and divided by a few sectors. And every sector has one market, one school, one playground, and it's quietly organized, so it is not congested traffic. It has no congested traffic jam and everything. But in rush hours, definitely it has traffic issue. Otherwise, it is very smooth. Traffic is very smooth. And this is my small little introduction. After watching your video, then we can add something.
Thank you, Bushra. Paul, the first lockdown video, please.
You do.
Thank you.
Stay home, have fun, stay safe.
Hello, prayers for everyone across globe. Stay home, stay safe, stay protected.
Stay home, stay safe, like my beauty. I love making origami at home.
Enjoy with your kids. Stay home, stay safe. Give some time to your garden. Stay home.
Stay home, stay safe.
Stay home.
Stay happy, stay happy, stay home.
Greetings from Pakistan. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you very much. You gave us a good sense of what life is, what homes look like. The gardens are beautiful. So, Sadaf and Bushra, what is a typical day for a WBG family in Islamabad? I'm sure the newcomers are dying to hear about that.
As for the typical day, for new families, it's very smooth and very loving. Islamabad is a very beautiful city. The people are very good. We have, thanks to God, we have no crime here. We have lots of mountains. We are trekking. We are enjoying hotels. Everything, I think, in a city, we have everything.
Good. So, what advice would you give to people who are looking for housing?
I think this question, I would like to say Bradley for the relocation question if he wants to give the answer. Because he is coming. Bradley.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Go ahead, Bradley.
That is Bradley.
Sorry, but you should be able to hear and see me. If you can't, let me know.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody, and my name is Brad. I've been here about 8 months. I moved over here with my partner and been consulting with the World Bank for about 10 years, on and off. The experience obviously has been clouded by COVID. Got here, it took about 2 months for the container to show up and a lot of delays, so I wasn't actually feeling quite like home until that moment happened. So there's some expected delays, I would say. The first experience actually was with Sadaf, and the whole family got to go into their home and experience a lot of the foods and build some relationships there and really get to know what the World Bank Family Network can do and support. And early on, Ilango, who's the CD, he's been here for about 4 years, started a really good kind of, I wouldn't say competitive, but team building. But my experience with Pakistanis, they're really into cricket and team building exercise, one of them. So there was a 2-day Olympic event that they've done for the past 3 years. And again, got to meet all of the family and introduce them. So there's a complete immersion, and I would say a welcoming feeling across the board, and even with other colleagues here, international, and many of the local staff as well. So there's a badminton court in the back. So there's a ping pong table, and people are always trying to get people together, and lots of fun WhatsApp groups to be immediately part of activities that are going on that support your kind of relationships at work as well. I'll stop there because I know there's a lot of questions and a lot to say.
Thank you. So, who is going next now? Is it Bushra?
I just want to add that the life of Islamabad is very comfortable. It is not hustle bustle life, and everything is you can catch everything like shopping, schooling, market. The distance is not very far. Within 15-20 minutes you can reach, but by walk you can go by car, and everything is available in markets, and law and order situation is very peaceful because there is all parliament house and all judiciary is in Islamabad based. So this place is very peaceful, and people are friendly, and you can get domestic help very easily within $200 or $100. it depends. Live in domestic help. And, so many opportunities you can get. So
So, Bushra,
life is
how do
beautiful.
you go about getting domestic help? You say it's easy to get.
There,
How do you
there are
find
some
it?
agencies. There are some agencies. Then you can hire or you can contact them. Then they can provide you good domestic help. And I mean, they have very nice people. It depends, but you have to be careful about either they are. I mean, you have to be careful about your own goods.
Added something here. I realized I wasn't. I got too wrapped up in all of the reminiscing over the 8 months. I forgot to answer the question about finding housing. Is it okay?
Go ahead, Bradley.
Yeah, and just to add on to what Bushra said, because I think this is an important element. There's the stigma, of course, of Pakistan and the security issues that have created a reputation over time. I'm an American. I also know that from political dynamic and all of those things. But I speak to everybody, and they always ask this question. And I feel like I'm in one of the safest, most peaceful places I've been living in anywhere that I have in different places. So, especially now with the civil unrest that's happening in the United States, and we're talking about building state-citizen trust, right? That whole relationship, I feel, at least here in Islamabad, in this state, is just it's stronger. There's a very strong political dialogue. You can read the news. There's a lot of controversy, like any other places, but in terms of safety, I don't even see police here. So this is like a really welcome place that I've had amazing experiences. In terms of the housing, like I said, there's specific sectors, and I had the experience of meeting with Sadaf in DC, and she created this awesome map, just kind of put together how the city operates and where the World Bank office is. And so when we got here, there's about, if you do a pre-assignment mission, you'll have a chance to meet with one of the people. They give you about 24 hours that the World Bank will pay for these people to go take you around. And you might see 30 or 40 places or try to constrain that before. But I think really going in and seeing them. There's a lot of new retail because the U.S. Embassy moved all of their workers to their compound. So there was a lot of opportunities that 8 months ago, I imagine, still. So there's, where you want to live in your sector, everything is quite close. And as Bushra was saying, it's really easy to get around, be at work in 15 minutes or less, depending on where you live in sector, I guess, 6, 7, 8. If you're basically anywhere 10, 15 minutes away. Lots of farmers markets and all of that. The experience getting a place and negotiating the contract is the hardest thing because they ask for 2 years ahead of time of rent, or a year in advance, but you signed a 2-year contract and you don't know what's happening. So there is that process, but they're very good people that the World Bank provides in terms of those vendors that have been approved. In terms of finding housing and some other information, there's a list called Jenny's List. I'd say this is probably most important. This woman has lived in Islamabad for, I think, 10, 12 years or so, and created an email list which generates cars, activities, places to get yogurt and ice cream or things of that nature. So she promotes a lot of the cultural activities. And as well, there's an Excel sheet, basically a Google document that has a list of all the recommended house help professionals. You can know their gender, you can know their skills, drivers as well as included in this list. So that's an important, I think, resource that everybody should get on immediately, even before they move, just to get an idea.
Later on, Bradley, could you put the email or the URL into the chat box?
We'll do that, sure.
Sure,
Yeah.
that sounds good, so that the people who are moving, you'll be able to get on that list quickly. So what about schooling then? So which member will make the comment? What about schooling for kids? If you
Ruxana is giving this answer.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, there are all types of schools since it's the capital city. So we have all big private schools, and then we also have an American international schools that offers the IB system. We also have other very good private schools that offer IB and Cambridge systems. I mean, there are a few famous chains of schools like Beacon House, City, and then Head Start, and they all have one of the biggest campuses that offers the IB and Cambridge, and then the other campuses offers Cambridge. English is pretty much the spoken language in all the schools, so all the students and the teachers speak English. If from the financial point of view you want to ask me a question, I can answer specifically if you ask a question that for grade wise, what can be the fee, potential fees of like or an average fee of which grade to which grade. And then, I mean, you can find, since it's the capital city, so the best thing about the city is that they have all types of schools, bigger campuses, smaller campuses, Cambridge, IB. But most of the diplomatic community is catered by American international schools. That's an age sector in Islamabad. Islamabad and American International School.
Thank you. We won't go into the school piece. Those of you who are moving and want those details, you can connect with Roshana directly, okay?
Sure.
Now, what about the situation for working? How easy is it for employment opportunities for spouses? So I guess, Bradley, you're the international one that needs the work permit. The others are citizens, so they can do anything they like.
Yeah, but I know in experience, you probably can speak to this better than I, that, if there's interest in doing some consultancies as well, depending on the experience somebody has or interest. I don't know about the other outside curriculars.
What's the work permit situation like, Are spouses allowed to work?
I don't know that. This is really new. So this is, my visa is through my consultancy is where, because I've been working primarily on the portfolio with the country management unit.
Through your consultancy with the World Bank you're talking, or you're a consultant with another company?
No, with the World Bank, yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. It is emerging that from our series of office travels to the country offices, that the easiest way is to be a World Bank consultant as a spouse if you want to continue your career. Otherwise, I think it becomes slightly more challenging. But that said, not everybody has that skill set. But that is worth noting. Okay, so when it comes to relocating families, do you think it sounds as if there are very few challenges, right? Because it's a safe city. You have resources. The community is very cohesive, especially our World Bank community is there to as a real support. So, are there any unique challenges that families would face? Relocating families would face that are unique to Islamabad, not the general transition issues, but unique ones?
I don't think so, Yvonne, because I think it's very easy to come here, because I think when we are someone is reading, we have a very good hotel like Serene, and they are going there. They have a very 5-star, 7-star luxury life in here in Islamabad. So I don't think so. Okay, it's a big problem for relocation one, because everything is easy, and World Bank is also very supporting. And after that, World Bank Family Network is also here. So I heard so many people then with the new families, they are going and taking with her for the groceries, for the shopping, for the furniture and everything. I think here is easy, very easy.
Just want to add there, there was the first family that joined was Putri, who came here about 6 months. She fortunately lives down the street and was with her husband and 2 kids. I think the challenge obviously was COVID happening, so a lot of the school was moved into the house. But before that, I think, just having a place where they could feel comfortable being outside. So I think in terms of housing, there's so many playgrounds and large parks around, but trying to find a place that you feel comfortable. Some streets, of course, are a little bit more active and don't have sidewalks on them. So many of them was trying to find a place that would have a backyard or a garden of some sort that would be suitable for children. So I think that was, maybe that's part of the course, but that would be the only challenge that was communicated to me. And I think she'd be a very good resource. She also wrote a blog about her experience a few months ago when she arrived. And so I could also share that link later.
Oh, that would be absolutely great. But just as a point of conversation, worldwide, outside space has now become a premium in every country since COVID. If they're looking for apartments, everybody wants a balcony. If the house, everybody wants a garden. So this is one of their saying worldwide housing trend is outside space of some sort. That if you are in lockdown, you have somewhere to go. So
but I would say there is a large. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, go ahead, Bradley, and then Roshana.
Oh, I was just saying going back to what she said. It's a very light-hearted city and very manageable, and in a sense, and there's a lot of, I think, inventory that they do have outdoor space and gardens. This is something kind of unique to Islamabad in terms of how they got people to move here into the 60s. They gave them the large tax break and these large properties they didn't have to pay property taxes on, so it allowed them to build. So there's a certain unique characteristics of the city that provide more ambiance and amenities within a household.
If I may, I'd like to add something that I read recently, because one of my kids is an architect, and she's telling me that more and more people, and I'm thinking about Baya and Laurent, before you choose a house, we all should keep in mind now that it's not only the balcony or the backyard, it's one extra room for home office. So keep that in mind. Make sure you will have a place for you to work from if we lock down for ages. Okay?
I would like to add something. Nadia Madrisi, she is also joining. She is also moving to Pakistan. Nadia is.
I didn't know that it was official, Nadia. That's why I didn't mention it. You had shared that with me, but now it's official.
Hi, everyone. It's official, but at the same time, as everything is suspended at the bank right now, so we don't know to which extent it's official, but I'm participating to the video as preparing myself for what it's supposed to be.
So we keep
this is just
among us only.
This is wonderful. I am so excited because this is we are living the point of this series that we actually have a convening platform for those who are there and those who are moving. It's a wonderful bridge because all these people. What an example, Sadaf. You have done a wonderful job. And I'm happy to hear you're doing machine learning. Wow. That's great too. So, for our newcomers, what is fun and unique about living in Islamabad? Maybe it's a bit of a repeat because all of you have already said how good it is. So, what's fun and unique? Go ahead.
Yeah, there are so many activities, outdoor, indoor, but usually they're surrounded by Margla Hill. So we have hiking, cycling, and go for Monal. There's, very near, not very far away. So you can go, 2,000 square height, Murray Hills. So the temperature is the huge difference because it is very cold. There is snowfall, but in Islamabad there is no snowfall. Within 1 hour drive, you can get snowfall in winter. But rest of them, we have Lakeview Park, we have Raval Dam. Very few miles away, you can get very nice, beautiful scenic view and lakes, park, and so many outdoor activities. And we have Islamabad Club, Serena. If you get membership, if you can get membership, you have every facilities like swimming pool, gym, and the 5-star hotel facilities. Otherwise, we have playgrounds, parks, and children used to play in summer, and we have tennis court, so many activities we have. And cinemas and movie watching definitely is here. So all activities. So no problem. Even horse riding in Islamabad Club is also available.
No, Bushra, can you stay in the mountains? Or
Yes,
just the mountains for day activities and you come back?
exactly. We can go. There is one Pier Hawa or Monal, and within 45 minutes drive, we can go in very high mountain, and the temperature difference, and you can. I mean, it is significant difference from Islamabad. So you can enjoy, you can live there. And there's one Bhurban from above to Murray Valley. There's a five-star hotel. You can go there and also and enjoy all five-star facilities. So no issue at all.
Yeah, there are many hiking and tracks. There are like 5 or 6 tracks in Margala Hills. I mean, since I'm into hiking, so there are many tracks and they are very interesting. And if the weather is nice, you can go uphill in like 2 hours or 1.5 hours, and you would find beautiful natural scenic sites in the mountains. That's another fun thing about Islamabad, that there are beautiful places to go in the mountains, hiking and trekking.
And one more attraction I want to add, there is jet ski, there is hiking also, and this water sports in
Bushra, you're on mute.
Sorry. Okay. I just want to add that there one more attraction in Khanpur Dam, that parasliding and paragliding, jet ski, and water sports as well. So you can enjoy with your teenage children, and they are safe, relatively safe. I mean, if we can compare, it is safe.
Can I ask you, because you already said that it's safe, because, but in other countries where there are some reputation or security issues, places outside the capitals are supposed to be a little bit more risky. So what is it? What about the mountains? Do you have special security there, or?
Uh, for security, I think for driving or staying in a five-star hotel is safety purpose is fine. It's good enough. Like Bhurban PC, you can stay over there, and you can get full secure. But the small places I don't recommend, because for security reasons for foreigners and diplomats, people used to avoid to travel over there. Yeah.
I would just add, they had new guidance from, I guess it was the UK finally made this family support about 3 or 4 months ago, and they took off any sort of restrictions to, I believe it's Gilgit and beyond. At the World Bank, you still need to get a no objection and put in a request 2 weeks before to be able to travel. But I think that's only in a specific area way up in the north, in parts of KP. But other than that, I have not experienced or heard anything from people who've been here.
But most of the foreigners used to travel Baltistan. We have K2 Karakoram, and they want to hike, the highest mountain, second highest mountain peak, K2, is Karduz, Gilgit. You can travel and take a 1 week or 2 week trip, and we have special packages of tour, and they will go with group. So security is fine. I heard, I haven't experienced yet, but I heard that it is very good, secure. And so many foreigners from UK, Belgium, people used to travel over there, because these are, I mean, breathtaking, scenic, beautiful places. And one must, if they are in Islamabad, they must visit to that area, because it's lifetime experience.
Can I ask a question about teenagers? In town, can you let the teenagers gathering by themselves and coming back home by bus or something like that, or it's not exactly the style?
Can you repeat, like you want to, I mean, you can enjoy your garden parties and everything you can organize at your home. It is perfectly fine. But are you asking about public transport or what? I'm sorry,
Yes,
it's hard.
both for teenagers. Let's say you have a 15, 17 years old kids.
Okay,
Can they gather together without the adults in some public space or
okay.
mingle
No,
around?
actually in Islamabad, public transport I don't recommend, but we have Careem or Uber service, so they are also very safe because public transport is not very frequent. So I don't recommend, but Uber or Careem is safe, and there is one Avis taxi services, so they are fine. And one teenager or one above 18 or 17 years, boy mostly, not girl, they can travel. So no issue at all.
I
Even
would
girls
add,
can also travel. Girls can also travel, so no issue.
I would add a little bit about the gatherings. I would say that if there are no bars or no nightclubs here for teenagers, for anyone, and there are no drinking facilities or like where you go, you can go and drink. There are no such things in Islamabad. But in private gatherings, if teenagers have their friends, then people can. I mean, I've heard and I've been to some parties where people have parties in their homes, in their gardens, or they book a place. Those are the only options. Or maybe in school or colleges there are functions or there are parties, but those are all arranged as per the social circle of the teenager. They are not like I mean, they are not very famous. It's because it's a religious country and there are no open places where teenagers can go and have dance and any sort of fun, but they can do it privately in their social circle.
So
And
have I understood that activities for teenagers, from what you said, are largely home-based and school-based in a private basis? Publicly, there's not that much for teenagers to do. Of course, outdoor activities, there's plenty, it sounds like. Lots of hiking, water sports, and all that. Because we have people who are moving, let us go into Q&A, and then we will finish with the video, which will be a very nice wrapper. But for those of you who are going to move, please ask. I open to Q&A now because you have an expert panel of many people who know Pakistan well. Please ask your questions. This is for you
okay.
to ask their advice. So please go ahead if you are relocating to Islamabad. I'm ready to go, by the way. Every week I'm ready to go somewhere else.
So
You
I have a
convince
question.
me.
So thank you, Yvonne. So I have a question for the Islamabadis. What is the coronavirus situation and what's the trend?
Nowadays, the situation is little bit serious and cases are increasing right now. But yesterday I heard that cases are going down. But now we are very careful because we have some safety SOPs, like safety measures. We have to keep it in mind, and we are not going outside because nowadays it is little bit serious. So it's better to stay at home and stay safe.
Okay.
From what I heard, there's no confinement. Is that true?
There used to be confinement, but now the government has put on some smart lockdown, and they have told the citizens, like if they go to the shop, there would be written outside the shop that without mask and gloves you cannot enter. So the bigger shops and the bigger shopping areas where the people go, they are doing smart lockdown. But I would not recommend going to smaller shops and small places or in the suburbs of Islamabad because people are not really following the SOPs. Until last night, there were 12,000 corona cases in Islamabad, 12,000. And they have also, in the few sectors in the suburbs area, they have locked down a few sectors because there were many cases, and they did not want the people of those areas to move to other sectors or to move to other places for like 20, 25 days. But the most intelligent and the good thing is to stay at home, go out the least possible. You should go out. You shouldn't go out a lot. Like after 3 months, I went to market today, with all the precautions, with my mask on, with my gloves on, and after I come out from every shop, I would throw those gloves, and when I go to the next shop, I put on new gloves. So these are SOPs that I would recommend everyone should follow in Islamabad when they go for shopping. But they shouldn't go for shopping a lot. But if they have to, they should definitely follow the SOPs.
But the airport is open and people are coming in, or what is going on? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Sporadic flights, and that changes, of course, week to week based on the conditions, right? So there was a bit of a fluctuation over the past 2 months. I think one of the umbrella ways of approaching it is Prime Minister Imran Khan, when he said, we're a poor country, we can't afford to lock down. And I think, as Rakshana was saying, the smart lockdown approach, experiencing as a foreigner and from the American lens, I think it's been really effective the way that they've communicated. And this is almost on a week-to-week basis that you're getting clear communication from the government. And also the security team is on top of this. It is really responsive. So every day you'll say, this is a lockdown in these sectors. 1, 2, 3, be aware of this traffic. So you get text messages. There's a warden that is assigned for each sector as well. So they respond, and there's kind of a phone tree. So you're really made aware of these things as they're developing. And as well, there's a very strong support of communication, of course. Some good communications from the World Bank Family Network and videos.
But just to have a bigger idea, it's on the rise, right? Or are we at the peak, or is it? What's the trend?
It is a valley. It is a valley.
Absolutely.
It is a valley surrounded by hills, mountains, not mountains, Margla Hills.
No, she meant the COVID trend. COVID.
Najia, I would say that what I've been hearing most of people.
This is Daya. This is Neshi's wife.
Najia, I'm sorry. Your name?
Daya.
Baya. So I had. Basically, it is on the increase in many places. Of course, there's more hotspots like everywhere else in every country, right? A lot of that may be Karachi, where there's a much more densely populated area. So there was a very slow uptake. And in fact, when things were happening in the States in that crisis, which is still happening, right, there was really low incidences around here. But recently, it has begun to to increase. And I'm hearing August, September, it may peak, but this is all depending on the lockdown measures and things. But there hasn't been a lot of crises to say, there isn't enough ventilators here in Islamabad hospitals. There's very good hospitals, the Navy hospital, and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Is there any case of COVID among our staff in Islamabad, staff or families, that you are aware of?
There has been, from the beginning, about 2 months ago, the World Bank started to report that there had been certain cases, and here as well in the country office, there have been a few. They've been very discreet about that, not to be protect the families, but very few cases. But there's definitely a lot of concerns around that, especially for those who have kids and elders, families. So it's like any other place.
Yeah.
But the communication, I think, is strong around that, and I think that's the main message I wanted to convey.
Can I go? So as we were talking about teenagers, are there recommendations about how they should wear their clothes? I'm talking about girls, especially no short skirts, no t-shirts without sleeves, or is it more free than that?
I think it should be a little conservative. They can wear Western clothes, especially I'm talking about girls. Skirts, in my personal opinion, I would say no. Jeans and t-shirts, yes. But tank tops, no. But sleeveless is in a few areas acceptable, but in mostly people would stare. The point is people would stare and they would feel uncomfortable. So I would, but if they're in jeans or t-shirts, that's casual. A lot of people wear those clothes here. But skirts and tank tops are I would say, a no to them.
Can I ask, what do the kids at the American school wear? Do they wear a uniform? Because I know that in a lot of Asia, has school uniform, and the British tradition is school uniform. So American school, what would the teenagers wear when they go to school there?
It would wear Western clothes. There is no uniform in American schools. It is in other schools, all the private schools in Islamabad, there is uniform. In universities and colleges, there is no uniform, and in American schools, there is no uniform.
So in American school, could you wear a tank top?
I would say if you're inside the campus, maybe. Because I worked with American Embassy, and the American school kids would come, the high school kids would come for to our embassy, and then I would see them. They try to be conservative. Like they would wear just general Western clothes. They would try, and if they would wear skirts, they would try to wear longer skirts. The girls, if sleeveless, I don't remember anyone in sleeveless, but yes, with short sleeves and not very deep and long necks. So I think when they come to Pakistan, they were trained. They and their parents were told to be that their looks should be a little conservative, even if they were Westerners or Americans. So that's from my experience. But you would see people with like very in these looks, maybe sleeveless. You would see people, but very few ladies, very few people. The point is that the other people who are around you, they stare then. So that makes you uncomfortable. And I mean, that's why I say that it's better just to wear Western clothes and no revealing clothes.
Okay.
Thank you very much, because I heard that from.
Question.
Yes, I thank you very much for the explanations, because I heard from another Pakistani young girl that Pakistan was more modern than other cities like Lahore, where she would never ever wear Western clothes. But this explanation is also very, very useful. Thank you.
Welcome.
Anybody who's moving have a question? If not, we're still open for questions before we show the video. If you're moving there, Laurent. Can't hear you, Laurent.
Yes, I just want to know if there is a sport activity for kids in Islamabad, like, I don't know, judo, or different sport activities, or for culture, theater, or, I don't know, different activities for kids.
Laurent was asking about activity for kids, judo, theater.
There are cinemas where kids can go together as groups and friends, and they can go alone. There are some nice cinemas, and in outdoor activities, I would say they can go for cycling and maybe hiking and trekking. And if they want to join like some formal place where they can go for swimming on regular basis or for horse riding, there is a club, Islamabad club, but that has a very high fee, annual, what do you call it? They take charges. And what did you use? Judo?
Japanese art of self-defense, judo.
Judo, yeah.
Judo, karate. Martial arts.
Taekwondo or judo.
Yeah, like karate. Yeah.
There are some indoor clubs. Yes, there are, but you'll have to search for it, look for it. Yes, there are martial art clubs and judo clubs and karate clubs and taekwondo clubs. Yes, there are, but you'll have to look for it. Which one is the good one, and if you should put your kids into those or not.
And Laurent, in that email link that I sent, you could actually see the website. There are like piano classes. There's a lot of kind of niche activities. And to me, when I came to the city, people said, oh, there's not Broadway. I guess they're trying to think that I'm a Broadway guy or something. But there's so many things going out, and like really just kind of see it's bubbling up with culture. There's a lot of art festivals, and there's Roxana, what's the name of that art place, the art facility where they do theater? So there's other theater pieces that are close to in Islamabad as well. One of the things that would come up in the fall was a lot of the festivals at that time are very prominent. And so there's some good festival areas, food festivals and of that sort that are also entertaining and have lots of music. There's a festival, Rakshana, what was it when I first arrived here? There was a festival that was at Lok Mela.
Yeah, it was Lok Virsa.
Yes, which I think was one of the most amazing events because it gives you the cultural dynamics of the entire country, and each of the specific cultures are represented over like 2-week period. And you could go there and it's like a little Epcot, if you could imagine, but music and dance and arts and artisanal goods and of those foods, of course. So if you are coming here in the fall, put this into mind. Hopefully with COVID maybe dissipating by then, there would be opportunities to see some of that. But it was a really fantastic entree to see the diversity of Pakistan as well. But,
I have a question in the chat box for everyone in Islamabad, whoever can answer the question, which is, if a foreigner wants to serve alcohol at home, is it okay? And where can they buy it?
I can give you half answer to the question because I work with Americans and we used to go to parties at American colleagues' houses. So yes, they can serve alcohol in their homes. But the point is they should not just take it to everybody because if there would be like 30 Pakistani guests and 15 American guests and the alcohol would be put on a side, and if anybody wants to take it, they would go and ask for it. It was not offered to everyone because some people here, the local people, do not like it to be offered if it's a dinner party or something like that. So if they're interested, they would go and take it, or they would ask the host to give it to them, something like that. From where to get it, I think the 5-star hotels, I think they provide it. But honestly speaking, maybe Brad can tell you the best answer this part of the question. Brad?
Yeah, so depending on your status, if you're diplomat status, for those staff that are coming here, you have a certain allocation per month to go to the UN store, which is within the diplomatic enclave. And there they have, it's like a little market basically, but you have an allocation of X amount of wine, X amount of liquor, that type of thing, and beer, for example. So so it's easy. It's just a matter of getting the paperwork. And I think one of the things going into this, you may not be articulated what are the steps to do to get from A to B. You might have to deal with, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you don't necessarily know that at the outset. So I think that's one of the learnings was as well trying to get more information on what each of the bureaucratic processes, because this is, of course, an official, permission that the government is providing to get that, and then you have to get X, Y, Z to get the UN store and deposits and such. So that's something just keep an eye on in terms of the.
So, Brad, what else can you get at the UN store? Do you recommend all newcomers to join the UN store?
I think most people just sign up just to have that alcohol allocation if they want to, but there's nothing really unique there. There's so many other good foods, obviously, in Islamabad and other restaurants that you could find anything you would want. But it's more like a canteen, small canteen.
Okay. I have 2 questions. One is a general question here. What's the healthcare system like? And another question about what can spouses do if they don't work during the day?
The healthcare system is very good here, Yvonne. I don't think so. We have a very good dental system. We have everything here. We have a liver transplant also here. I think big thing to small thing. We have all. I think it's a very good thing.
Besides joining the WBFN chapter, which every spouse has to do, of course, what else is there to do for the non-working spouse? When your children go to school, the staff person goes to work. If you're not working, what can you do?
First of all, they should explore Islamabad. They should go to market. and explore our handicrafts, shopping. Shopping is very good. It is very reasonable prices. We have good, even we have custom made clothes. We have tailors. We have very good fabric. So this is one of them activity for the lady who is staying at home. And otherwise you can join WBFN. We all have a once in a month we can arrange one coffee morning or something like that, or we have social work activities as well, and so many activities. You can get something. It's not as boring or as problematic. It's fine.
There are also like swimming. I would recommend the swimming pools and the gym clubs in the five-star hotels. There are two very good five-star hotels, so if they can join, those are also very good options of spending quality time swimming and maybe joining a gym or roaming around.
Can I add one thing in as a little pitch? There's a spouse here. She's been working in diplomatic enclave to create called Islamabad Paws to rescue dogs that had been on the streets, and she's been doing this for 3 years. I've gone with her a few occasions in the morning. She goes out and feeds 40 dogs within the enclave, but she also helps to place rescue dogs within homes. So there's 2 dogs actually right now that she had mentioned to me. If anybody's interested in that, we can share pictures, but that was something also that we look forward to having that experience. And so there's really good community around that. But I think there's lots of opportunities to do so many things, especially learning the language, and again, good community already with the family network. So.
What about other volunteer opportunities besides rescue dogs?
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty. This is all my focus. You can tell me, you can see I'm still googly-eyed over having a new puppy. So.
If not, what we can do is to show some volunteer activities, which provides a beautiful segue into our last video.
Can I ask something, Yvonne, about the language? If you speak English, can you communicate with everyone everywhere?
Mostly, yes. I would like to answer this question. Yes, mostly if you communicate in English, people in Islamabad, even the small vendors on the roadside, they would know the very basic English of basic English. So they would understand what you are saying or what you want or where you want to go. So they would guide you the best way possible or give you the best way possible. So yes, people can communicate in English.
Thank you.
I think you can get around, but it struck me at the beginning, depending on your cultural, immersion or what you want to take out of the experience, I think it is advantageous to have that. Depending on, obviously, the level of education in some of the people, but getting into a taxi sometimes and not being able to communicate at all with a driver, except with a few words that they have in English or that. So that has happened sometimes, and I think enough that it would compel me to have more interest in, I think, that of developing language skills around that. So I think it goes far as well in terms of building relationships and being able to open up to the people around you that you interact outside of your work.
Definitely. Thank you, Bradley.
Before we show the video of the WBFN chapter activities, one last call for any questions, especially for those who are moving. Otherwise, we will move into the video, and then our president, Padmini, will give our last words of thanks and round off the event. We will run slightly over time, but thank you so much. It's interesting. After every Thursday travel, I'm ready to move. So thank you. I would love to go to Islamabad. So before the video, do we have a question? Otherwise, pause the video, and then Padmini will say thank you.
There's one.
One question, yeah.
Chat,
about
yes.
Social work activities you do at WBFN.
And I think
So
Laurent has a question after that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, now.
Not a question. This is just You hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
So just this is the question. This is just about I'm waiting to Pakistan. I don't know when, but I'm very happy to be in Pakistan very earlier. And just when I said I'm leaving or I'm moving for Pakistan, all my friends said, "Wow, that's the first impressions they have, the feeling when I said Pakistan." And I'm very happy about this meeting and all the meeting for the presentation of different countries, because Pakistan, I think, is a wonderful country. But for most of the people I know in France or around me, they are afraid by this country, and that's not really a good vision of the country, but that's the reality. That's very hard for you and me, because I think we can have a wonderful life in Pakistan, but that's not for all people. That's not exactly what they are feeling.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, that is so true. That's why the insider view is so important.
I would thank you so much. Just I want to recommend that there is one World Bank advisory service, that security advisory service, which provides you exact situation of which area you can travel, or you can avoid that area, that road, or the situation. It all depends. So they can provide the exact situation. So my suggestion or my advice, sorry. So my suggestion, if you follow that advisory from World Bank, security advisory, it won't be any problem or any problem. So otherwise, it's fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I totally concur with what Busha was saying. And I think, Laurent, I don't know about you personally, having to deal with that response that you get from family. I think it was very hard to tell certain people because there was such a reputation around that. So there is a lot of, I guess, good publicity that needs to go out there. And I just put a link in to share with all of you from Condé Nast, putting Pakistan as the #1 travel destination in 2020. And I think this is a testament to people's experience and really understanding that this country has a very beautiful side to it, and is, as everyone has underscored, one of the most peaceful places that have come out of past history. So if you want to talk more about that, I'm happy to be, because I know that anguish because you're getting pressure. Just wanted to mention that. And check out the link.
Thank you so much.
You're on mute.
I think at this point, what we will do is ask Paul to show the video, because we are at the 9:15 mark. Those of you who are moving, we have a wonderful, wonderful chapter. You can reach out to any of them that you have seen today with your questions. So, Paul, the video, and then Padmini.
Wow. That was such an amazing video. I have to say that, this was a very, very enjoyable visit to Islamabad. Sadly, I know I won't be able to ever visit because of my nationality. Well, which has recently changed. That's a different matter. Maybe now I can. But but it really, it was so different from what I thought I would hear. So I really want to thank Bushra, Sadaf, Ruxana, and Bradley for sharing all these wonderful things about Islamabad. It sounds like a very viable destination for a family from the World Bank Group. And as we always like to say, that the information that you get here in these virtual sessions is something that you'll not get anywhere else. It is so valuable, it is so personal, and it is really exclusive. So I would like to thank all the participants today. I always like to say that, as much as we thank the contributors, we also love to thank our audience, all those who have joined us today, because when we see people joining us in big numbers, that really encourages us as well. So keep coming. We have many of these country visits planned in the future, and you will get some unique insights into the place. So having said that, I would like to end today's session, thank everybody, and invite you to the next one. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pakistan chapter. Wonderful.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bon voyage.
Yes, good.
Merci, Maureen.
Profitez bien.
Sure.